just doing audio?
Yes.
Okay. Great.
So we can turn our video. I mean, we can keep
It's
our videos
nice
on
to
to
see
like
you.
look at each other.
It's nice to
yeah,
see you.
it's good to see you
Yeah,
too.
it's good to see you. Okay.
How are you, Brad? How are you? What are you doing? What's your life right now? Is it hot in Arizona?
It is hot. That's why when I first started, I didn't have a shirt on, and I usually just come home and take off all my clothes. Like everything just feels so heavy and oppressive in this place. Heat really is a heavy thing, but I've gotten used to it. My friend from LA came out recently, and they were like, "This heat is disgusting. This is foul." And I was like, "This is nothing. This is 99. This is 99." Like, have you ever?
This is 99.
Yeah.
What a terrible sentence. I wish I hope I never have to say that to anyone. I'm like, oh, you don't. Wait till we get to 105. Yeeps.
I mean, it was 117.
I mean, that happens in Omaha, I guess.
Yeah,
But
But listen,
still, it's different.
Omaha is worse. Omaha is actually worse.
Really? You would say
Yes.
it's worse?
Because I had a woman in the store today. I work at a store for you listeners. Now you know. I work at a boutique, a small boutique. We sell candles and incense and other gay things.
It's super classy.
It is classy. Yeah. But this lady comes in, and I've been just like so prone to just like talking about the heat with people because people are really frustrated about it all the time. So it's something we have to talk about. And this lady comes in, and she's like, what did she say? I said, "You survive in the heat?" And she goes, "This isn't hot." Whoa. And I'm like, "Wow, you must be a true Arizonan." And she goes, "No, I'm from Nebraska."
Oh.
Yeah. So I was like, "Wow, okay, yeah, you're right. It's tough down there. The humidity is really unbeatable in Nebraska, I guess."
Did you tell her that you were from Nebraska?
I did, and then she told me, she's like, "Where are you from?" And I'm like, "Omaha." And she's like, "Well, we're from Grand Island." And I was like,
Ooh, and then you were like, thanks, have a good one.
Bye. Goodbye, Islanders. They were fine. They were very nice. They were very nice people. But, they were my folk.
your peep.
My peeps, yeah. But it's just hot here. How are you? How's Omaha? How is Nebraska?
It's fine. It's cooling down. So that's good.
God, what a good start to
I'm
our
a fall
podcast that
person.
we're talking about weather. People are gonna
Listen, it's how all the best relationships form in the movies.
It's true. It's true.
So, this is how we should introduce ourselves.
Do you hate small talk, or do you find small talk a practical and necessary tool?
Okay, so I got a minor in philosophy, so I don't know if I believe in small talk. Ooh.
Okay, I'm cool with that. Yeah.
Because
Explain.
I can really have fun talking about almost anything. I'll have
That's
a good
how
time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you're boring, then the issue is not the conversation. It's that you're not very exciting.
Right. It's like you don't know how to leap from topic to topic. You can't people who don't know how to talk. I really don't think small talk is the issue. I think it's poor communication on certain people.
And I was talking to my friend today about the idea of poor communication.
The idea.
Yeah, because I feel like communication in and of itself, it's not hard. In fact, you have to use basic communication every day just to survive. Just to get dressed.
Right.
So when you're like, I think that we're just, everyone's bad at communication. I'm like, no.
And people are getting used to communicating again after this quarantine. And that excuse is getting older and older. It's passing its prime. People can't rely on that for very much longer because we've all been out and about now. But I do notice at the store people don't. They're I had a man yesterday yell at someone in the dressing room because they were taking too long, and I was like, "Sir."
He's like, "Oh no, I flashed. Sorry, I thought I was in my living room."
Yeah, really. I think he did. He was just because the girl was taking a long time, and we only have one dressing room, and I looked at him with the kind of look of like, I'm sorry this is taking a little while. That kind of sucks for you. But he had repeatedly said, no rush, I'm in no rush. But something boiled over. And I looked at him, I gave him the look of like, I'm sorry this is happening. And he just goes, don't worry, I'll take care of it. And then yells, there's only one dressing room,
Oh.
Yeah.
I love that he like checked in with you first though. He's like, I got it. Don't even worry about it.
Right. Like, no, don't. This is, yeah.
I've got the perfect plan.
And he did.
I feel like I'm one of those weird people that it like somehow got better at communicating in the pandemic, in the quarantine, because the pandemic's still happening.
Right.
The lockdown. And I don't know.
You just did a bunch of podcasts. I mean, you interviewed a bunch of people.
I did talk to a bunch of people. But I also just like stopped caring as much about what people thought about what I was saying.
That's the key.
And I think a big part of that was because I was like, we're all trapped anyway.
I know. Yeah.
And then so many things like just started happening around that moment, of course, in the world. Yeah. And so I was like, listen, people, I don't even have the energy to care about what I think you think. I might think you think about what I said. And so I would just say it.
That is like kind of where you have to go. Like you that is where people went. People were it's just I don't care. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna get in a fight with my uncle about the proper way to protest on Facebook in front of everyone. Yeah. That is what I'm gonna do tonight while I'm stuck inside.
I mean, because there were there were a lot of keyboard warriors in the lockdown. It was intense.
We were all for a little bit. All of us were. Because
all of
us
us
we
were.
Could do.
We absolutely were.
It's all
now,
we could do.
What's interesting is that as we re-enter the world and people are engaging with people again, there's a vast difference in who's like moved from being a keyboard warrior to like actually still fucking shit up.
Right.
And to like silence. Right. And like being back in the space where silence is deafening. Right. It's crazy. It's crazy how quickly it all turned back around.
It evaporated.
Right? Fascinating.
It is fascinating. And it's like, but you also then see the opposite, the other side of that spectrum where people who are still doing it all the time, it's like they almost picked up the slack for those who didn't. And they're posting all the time, posting about things that you're like, is that an issue? Is that the real issue?
You're like, I don't know. Are we
right
where we are today?
Someone asked me what I thought about the like drama that is apparently coming out about what happened on set during iCarly, and I was like, I want healthcare. Like that's what what is me? You want me to add to that conversation? I can't add anything to that conversation. And I'm sure whatever happened, I don't know what happened. I didn't look into it because it's iCarly and, I
just love that iCarly's back.
It is back.
What a funny time.
But have you seen these clips of this new iCarly show?
I actually watched an episode of the new iCarly show.
Was it good?
I mean, what's really interesting about it is that it seems like it's written for us. Oh. Like, lots of sex jokes.
Us, like, meaning, like, the millennials who grew up
the millennials who grew up with it, like, ages, like, I don't know, how old are we now? Like, 24 to 30?
Right, 24 to 30. We were all, like, 12 to 16 when that happened. Like, that's insane.
So, it's like, there are a lot of weird sex jokes.
Yeah, like some threesome jokes. I saw like a joke.
There were some threesome jokes.
Joke.
I mean, there's a lesbian character now.
Cool. Is the show
maybe
worse?
She might be bisexual.
Okay, good for her.
I don't know.
I mean, either way,
she's making it. Listen,
I hope it's bisexual because I feel like there's not enough representation of those.
There is not enough bisexual representation. You are correct.
Plenty of lesbians and gays, but like not enough bisexual. But
and we include everyone here.
Yes, we do. At Straight, what is it? Straight Talk with Gay Men, we include all. All are welcome. And I was just seeing a lot of it on TikTok, a lot of clips from it on TikTok of people being like, iCarly's really not holding back. Like, they're kind of going full throttle with this. It's kind of, remember when Boy Meets World did the Boy Meets World in college?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I remember the boy, whatever his name was, of Boy Meets World, Corey, and Topanga, like, there was a scene where they were underneath the covers of their college apartment having sex, and she was like, I love your love handles. And me, like maybe like 11, watching that and being like, what is going on?
I gotta say it. I'm not a fan of Corey and Topanga.
You know what?
I spent most of my childhood fantasizing about Corey and Sean.
Corey and Sean.
I thought that Corey and Sean should have been a thing.
I need to look up who Corey. At least like they experimented with each other. You know?
They had to.
Like
they had to.
They're not okay. We're not talking about the brother, right?
No,
Sean
that's Eric.
Okay.
Sean is his best friend. Eric is his brother. And then Sean had an older brother that Eric lived with when they moved out and went to college, and I can't remember his name. But then I was like, well, now we have Eric and Sean's brother too, and this is a lot to handle.
It is a lot to handle. I mean, that show, what a strange show, because it was kind of like Saved by the Bell, but in the 90s. Like, it was just this strange, look at us, like we're prepared all these like topical things of the day, and we're talking about
Boy Meets World. But can we discuss Mr. Feeney real quick?
Yeah, of course.
Like, how in the world do we all feel so safe with this man that stalked these children through college?
Right.
He stalked them.
He did.
I mean, that's creepy, right? Like, to just keep showing up at the schools that you're in, like, from middle school?
Yeah. It was middle school. It wasn't college.
That show ran for a long time. We watched them grow from middle school through college. We got to the end.
Yes.
And then they brought it back, Girl Meets World.
Oh, that didn't last.
And it was not good. It wasn't good. But then Corey and Topanga had kids, so we even saw them as adults, and apparently their lives were... the writing on Disney is just not... No. It's not what it used to be.
It's not. Nothing is what it used to be. And I know we sound old, but it's true. Like, things have deteriorated to a point that is...
Oh my God. Are you sick of the remake? I don't need anything...
God,
Did you see they're going to remake The Bodyguard?
Why?
We're living... Why would you touch it? Why touch it?
We're living in times where where there's so much interesting stuff happening that you could make so much original material, and people want to just keep these remakes, and it's because these corporate entities don't want anything interesting or original because it could rock the boat.
I mean, but you know what's gonna rock my boat? A bad Bodyguard. Like, I don't need like. And are we gonna use new music? Are we not singing the classic songs? Ooh. If you are singing the songs, who's doing it?
Right.
Because the names that are floating around, like, love these women, but Cardi B, no. Lizzo, absolutely not. And these are all like weird rumor things that aren't actually confirmed or real. But
what if it was Brandy?
Okay, listen.
Because you know she.
I mean, maybe
she could.
I know that she could, but like, I don't want her to. I don't want anyone to. Like, that film has such a stamp. You know, I've been recently talking a lot about Whitney Houston. I'm not sure why. I mean, you know, she's my queen. I love her. Yeah. It's not all I ever do. I did realize that once I got to college and everyone texted me "sorry for your loss" with no context the day that she died, from college and home. So I was like, wow, in the one semester I've been here, you've all learned that I love Whitney Houston. So apparently that is all I do. But
it's that and Brandy. You're either talking about Whitney or you're either talking about Brandy.
Yeah, they're amazing.
They are.
So I would, I just don't want anyone to do it. That film is Whitney's, and I just think they just need to let it. It be.
It is. It's almost disrespectful to these people who it like made a mark on them. Like, this is their stamp. Like you said, it's their calling card. This is, no one needs to. Who's gonna put it out? Hulu?
Hulu presents The Bodyguard. No, I'm sure it's going to be a huge cinematic event. Like, it's going to be a blockbuster.
Did this West Side Story come out yet? Has that happened?
I don't think it's come out yet. I think we're still waiting for it.
Do we? Why?
But I mean, at the same time that there's a revival on Broadway, I'm like, do we need so much West Side Story right now? Like,
let's talk about theater. You're about to go do some theater.
I am about to go do some theater.
Can you talk about that?
I can. Okay. I'm going to Kansas City to do the SpongeBob musical, the world premiere of the Theater for Young Audiences production of the SpongeBob musical at the Coterie Theater.
It's so funny because this has been in the works for you for a long time.
Yeah, so I had a callback for the original production that debuted in Chicago and went to the Broadway. Clearly I didn't book it because here I am making another podcast.
With your friend who lives in Phoenix. Some guy.
Moving on down.
Yeah.
But it's cool that, that this came around in this way. And to be clear, it wasn't like connected to that audition or anything. I just happened to have a connection and I reached out and he was like, we're doing the SpongeBob musical. And I was like, oh, well, I was Patrick. And he was like, I'd love to see if you would audition for us. And I was like, sure. And so here we are.
Yes.
And I'm super excited about it. So that's happening.
Amazing.
It's for the kids. This podcast is not, to be clear. This podcast is not for the kids.
For the children.
But this show is. And then the SpongeBob musical is going to have a production that's going to be performing for kids everywhere. And that's so exciting for me. To be a part of the first one. You know? It's cool.
I had some theater people come into the store the other day and they were on a Broadway tour for the Jimmy Buffett musical.
Oh wow, Margaritaville.
Yeah, Welcome to Margaritaville, I think is what it's called. And they were all super fun and nice and chipper, as musical theater people are. It was like I hadn't been around theater people for so long that I was like, wow, this is like chewing on like 7-star bursts at the same time.
Very particular breed, right?
Yeah.
Like especially the musical theater people, which we both were. And are sometimes.
Sometimes, if the check is,
if the check clears,
if the check clears, I'll be a musical theater person. Yeah,
but it's an interesting. I don't know. It is. It takes an amping up to get into.
It takes an amping up. It's like stand-up comedians are like the exact opposite because it takes like a very a spiral down to become a stand-up comedian or to hang out with those people, and to hang out with musical theater people, you have to yeah.
Like, so to be a stand-up, you're like admitting all the things that no one in the musical theater room is admitting.
Yes.
just sitting in it.
Yes. I can't imagine like what it would be like to get a bunch of stand-up comedians, especially the ones I'm meeting in Phoenix, Arizona, in a room with the cast of Margaritaville. It would be like a black hole would open up, like something they'd all sink, and it would be a sight to see. That's for sure.
I mean, how is the Phoenix stand-up scene? You're out there now. You're doing the open mics. That's so exciting.
It is exciting. It's fun. But the thing is, these are dark rooms. These are dark, dank dive bars. I am like... And that's fine. Like, I love that. Like, and the people I'm meeting are actually really cool. There's a lot of people who have, made their way from LA because it was too expensive to live there during the pandemic, and they're like, I'm sticking with Arizona, I'm gonna make it a scene. And I'm like, okay, let's see. Maybe so.
Everyone came out with a challenge. Everyone came back into the world with a challenge.
And I've met some really cool people and they're really great, but it is not, I don't know, but I kind of am of the opinion that no place is really a great scene right now. Like, even LA, even New York, the things I hear, everyone seems very unhappy no matter where they are. Because the country is broken. Like,
it's all broken.
Yeah. And we've all come to that conclusion. Sorry.
And workers are, getting to the point of all workers. I mean, there's this strike. Did you see the IATSE strike?
No.
The whole the IATSE is the not the league, the union for, backstage workers. So for crew members and all those things, that's for our
It
viewers
is
at
the
home that
coolest
may not know.
name. The coolest name of all the unions is IATSE.
IATSE.
Yeah, like SAG.
They've got it going on.
Yeah, SAG.
I mean, but also truly, yes, like IATSE is standing by this strike that the workers are having, which, you know, I haven't seen SAG or Equity.
Of course, because SAG is full of a bunch of vain actors and artists.
Yes.
Like, of course.
And the people that want your money.
Yeah. Of course, the people who are like, do all the work for theater, who really actually do everything.
Right. And TV and film.
And TV.
And that's what they're saying. They're like, we want our weekends. We want to not work endless hours because that's what the director wants.
Right.
We would like breaks. You like, you know, those things. They would also like health insurance.
We would like to be paid. We would like to be paid
for our time and for the labor we're putting in. So, shout out to IATSE and that strike.
Yeah.
Strike it up. Strike it up.
Hardcore. I do. Should we even touch the? Have you heard about this Tootsie national tour? Should we even?
I've heard that it Let me tell you a funny story about Tootsie.
Okay.
So I was in Chicago when Tootsie did its pre-Broadway run. And I had a friend that was working on the show. It's like a production assistant or something. And so we went to the show. We're like in the third row. And this huge number ends. That's like awful. I'll be candid. I did not like the show.
No,
I thought that it was
not.
pandery. I thought it was it's upsetting to everyone.
Yeah.
For so many reasons.
Yeah.
But this it's making it. If you make a musical about a musical that is supposed to be bad in the musical, then you are making a bad musical.
Yeah.
And also, that's not the plot of Tootsie. so like, what are we doing?
They changed the whole thing.
It's all different.
Like,
and
have
then
you
why does
seen
it
the
why does it
movie?
have to be about a musical?
Have
Why
you
does it have to be
Right.
about a musical?
Can't it be about the TV show? Can't you just do it
Right,
like
because
it was?
Tootsie's a classic. It's a classic.
It is a classic.
But this huge number finishes, and everyone around me is applauding like insane, and I'm sitting back with my arms crossed, just like looking at the stage.
Good.
And my friend like looks at me and then like starts to like clap louder. I refuse. I know.
You should, as you should. And
So yeah, that's my Tootsie story.
I think Tootsie. It should not have been made. Most musicals should not be made. Like that's the bottom line. Especially like School of Rock the musical shouldn't have been made. Maybe it's good.
Yeah.
I don't know, but we need to let go. It's the same thing with the. I think it has everything to do with boomers. Like boomers are still in control, and they cannot let anything move forward. They won't because they know it has nothing to do with them anymore. And that's why we keep getting these remakes. They just can't, like, they want While You Were Sleeping the musical, they want just wretched things. I mean, didn't they make Sleepless in Seattle into a musical?
I think so. I think there is. I can't even keep up at this point. Like
No.
there's Pretty Woman. They're just, and here's the thing. This is not to say that I am bashing on all the movie musicals because
No. Yeah.
I poo-pooed hard on Legally Blonde for a long time, and then I watched Legally Blonde, the musical, and I was floored.
It's a fun time. It's actually.
I will say that's the last time that I think it was done
But
like
I think
that
they
well.
really respected the source material, is the thing.
Yes.
They respected
Yes.
the source material.
You know what else is good? And I took some flack for this. I just talked about this because my life is nothing if not a circle.
Uh-huh.
I just had a conversation about Rocky the musical. And let me tell you.
I didn't even know that existed.
Oh, yes. That was one of the first shows I ever saw on Broadway.
What?
That set is stellar, first and foremost.
Okay.
The music is not as ridiculous as you would think in context.
Is it very like Andrew Lloyd Webber 80s style musical theater, or what is it? Like, what's
No, okay, so it's written by Stephen Flaherty and Lynn Ahrens. Shout out, they're two of my favorite composers.
Flaherty, what has
They've
he
written
done?
Once on This Island.
Yes.
They've written Seussical,
Yes.
Anastasia.
Okay.
And so it's very musical theater. It's very super like musical theater storytelling. The songs
they know
actually
how to do it. Like
they
very
do.
good.
The songs really move the story forward and tell a good story. The acting was not bad. The set, like I said, it moved like it's nobody's business. Anyway, before I just make this a podcast about Rocky the Musical, I just wanted to say that I'm not poo-pooing on all movie musicals, but the ones that have been coming out in the last like 7 years are not
rough.
great.
That's the thing. It's like when you say School of Rock the musical, I'm like, duh. Like, yeah, that sounds like it should be a musical. But if it's Rocky, like, why do Deliverance the musical? Do you know Deliverance? The film Deliverance? Like, do that, and it will be horrifying. We once lived in a country where they did Equus. Like, Equus was a show, and people were like, "All right, I guess we're going to the theater. Like, we're gonna go see this play." Like Edward Albee the Goat, like that, like happened. Like these horrifying. And for better or for worse, we've moved on. But it does seem that theater, everything does seem a little sanitized, a little Finding Neverland. Finding Neverland, the musical.
What a show. I heard nothing but awful things about that show, and it ran for so long.
And my father saw it. My father saw it with his dad, my grandfather, and they loved it. I mean, they loved it.
Well, because what they did, I mean, it was technical, like porn. Like, there was, like, all these amazing effects.
Right.
That I think everyone easily falls in love with when they're like, oh my goodness, did you see the paper tornado?
Paper tornado.
It was just amazing.
It's great to be distracted, you know? It's great to be distracted by spectacles and things like that. And it's good to turn the brain off and just say, yeah, I'm being distracted right now by a paper tornado.
A week ago, we were all supposed to be distracted by the Met Gala, but here's what I'll say. I was disappointed.
That was a good transition.
Wasn't that good?
Yeah, it was really
right?
good.
That was nice. I felt good about that.
Gotten onto a topic that we discussed talking about.
Well, because, I mean, I feel like that's a big part of why the Met Gala existed. I actually didn't know this. I learned this year that the tables at the Met Gala are mostly purchased by designers. And then they get the people to wear the clothes.
Yes.
So that, was news to me. I was like, oh, that's exciting. That totally makes more sense now. Now I get it. Right. I still don't get it, but I get it.
I mean, I think you have to be involved in the fashion world, and we're just not. That's 100% not our field. Like,
would you want to go? Would you want to go to the Met Gala if a designer would invited you?
Before this one, I probably would have. But post this one, I think it kind of has it's kind of got a bad rap now.
Right? It's interesting.
It's gotten this bad tinge. Like, it's not the place to be. Because it is utter decadence. It does have that Hunger Games mentality. Like, we are in the capital. This is bad. Like, dystopian bad. No. Would you?
Probably, absolutely. I can't even lie.
I
think it'd be dope as fuck.
I think you should.
But I understand,
the reticence.
Yeah, I totally understand why it's, especially coming out of the year that we are, and into the year that we still are, and into the future ones, because nothing's gonna get better anytime soon. Let's be real.
No, it's not.
No. I did have a feeling that was like, oh, they're doing that. Mm-hmm. I had this feeling that was like, okay. And then I felt really strange when I saw Whoopi Goldberg there.
Yeah. That was odd.
Yeah. She's so casually wealthy.
Yes, she is.
So I don't know if any of our viewers or listeners know this because they just met me, but I love The View. I watch it.
Yeah, you do.
Consistently. I actually haven't watched today's episode, so when we're done here, that's what I gotta go do.
But you really love Whoopi.
I do love Whoopi, but here's why she causes problems for me on the show. Okay. Because she's so rich and has been so rich for so long and has been in rooms with very wealthy white men that have really helped her career. And so she is able to overlook a lot of things. Nothing egregious that like is against the total humanity or decency of a person. But the way that she talks about things, she just sounds moneyed.
Yeah.
And then she came back and she was talking about she was like, because she's really afraid of flying, so she always takes pills to get knocked out on the plane.
On the private jet.
Yeah, but she says, I took a plane all by myself, and everybody's like, yes, good for you, Whoopi. And I'm like, this woman is talking about having an entire plane to herself to fly to, like, Greece or something. And then they had a picture of her room, and it was this, like, giant bay window off the ocean, and then she's having lunch with these men on some random island in the middle of the water. And it's like, you're so casually wealthy.
Yeah.
Like, you're just talking about these things, like... And then also having conversations about, like, people need their health care. And it's like, Whoopi.
It's hard because I feel like that generation came up thinking, like, that's the goal. Is to, like I will work so hard and the American dream has worked out for me and this is great. Like, see, this can happen to anyone. But it cannot. It cannot. And I think what you said is, like, you get to those places by... kissing the asses of many wealthy white men, and we just our generation is getting less and less like, we don't really want to kiss the ass of anyone.
No.
What? Why?
I mean, I can't agree with that. I think that our generation
you're right
is totally open with kissing the ass of a lot of people.
It's true.
Groceries. Eat the groceries.
But
not to get, like, ahead in life. But yes, I see what you mean. Like, metaphorically, no. But now we are actually... It's a common conversation, actually.
What?
How much people eat ass? There are whole songs about it. Did you remember?
This is true.
Like,
it's
you're not on the social media, so you did not see... So Trick Daddy said that he admitted that he lets people eat him out. Women eat him out. And they're like, but you don't like have your legs up. And he was like, it depends.
Good.
Right? And I was like, thank you. Good. Like, let's normalize.
Yes.
Like, we're so nervous to talk about anything sexual in this nation. It's very fascinating.
We are becoming a little sexless. Like, we are becoming a little, like, it's a strange thing. But, I mean, good for him. Who is he? He's a rapper?
Rapper, okay. Old school rapper, like
old
90s.
School rapper. What is his name again?
Oh, old school rapper, 90s. Did you hear me?
Yeah, but what
I don't
is his
like
name?
anything I just said. Trick
old
Daddy.
Old school rapper, 90s. Trick Daddy.
Awful. I'm sure he was around before then too, but you know.
Right.
But yes, we don't kiss ass to get ahead in life. Metaphorically. We don't want to do that. Some do.
Some do, and they get shows on Hulu that are not good.
Oh. Did that sounded personal? Is
no,
that
it didn't.
Okay.
This is just a blatant... I mean, some shows on Hulu. I don't know why I keep referencing Hulu tonight.
Like, so mad.
Like,
I was like, someone in your life has written a series for Hulu and you are angry about it. Do you want to air it out here on the show?
I wish I knew someone that connected to a streaming service show that even if I hated them, I wish I was like, that'd be great. Can I come on the show? Right. I hate it. That's a terrible show, but I'd love to have a spot.
I'd love to be on it.
I'd love to be. Yeah, there's me kissing ass. Yeah. It's... Let's get back to the Met Gala. So, you were underwhelmed.
I was very underwhelmed. I felt like... I don't know, if y'all are going to do it, you've essentially not done this for 2 years. Mm-hmm. I need more. Right. I mean, there are a few people that really pulled it out. Gabrielle Union, I thought looked amazing.
Yeah.
I thought, I mean, she's the only one that ever really comes to mind when I think about the looks. Like, listen, I mean, unless when it's bad. I mean, Meg Thee Stallion looked like she was going to prom.
Yeah.
In like 2007.
And she needed bigger shoes. Bigger
hair, bigger dress. Like, more. I just needed more.
She didn't look comfortable. A lot of people looked uncomfortable.
Yeah, I understood what Sierra was doing, but I was like, it was like a football jersey type shiny thing.
Gabrielle Union looked good. Like,
oh yeah, Gabrielle Union pulled it out. Like she went to the Met Gala. I feel like everyone else was.
There are so many looks I just haven't seen yet because I was so like kind of just turned off. I was like, let's.
But typically, you would see them anyway. Like they're so good that they're put in your face, and even if you don't know it's from the Met Gala, you assume that it's from the Met Gala. Right. And I feel like this year everyone was just like at an event. This is not an event. If you're gonna do this, put something on.
Right.
Now the look that got a lot of attention,
of course,
was Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Of course, yeah.
Who had a white dress that on the back it said "Eat the Rich."
Yeah.
And I instantly thought it was weird because I was like, "You're at the Met Gala."
Right, of course.
And that's when I learned how the tickets worked. I was like, she bought a ticket to the Met Gala, but she didn't.
Right.
Like, the designer bought the ticket. And, like, she went there to make a statement, I guess, but, like, what do you think that says, Brad?
Thanks for putting that on me. I forgot. I had, like, a whole week of, like, processing her. She's the reason that the coverage of her is why I was like, I need to take a break from social media. Because I was like up, like I wanted all the takes, I wanted all, because it was like such a like meeting point of everything in our culture right now. Like you know, there's the decadence of art, and then there's the like politics, and there's the polarization, and there's the hypocrisy. It on its face, it's hypocritical. Like it just doesn't look good. It's not a good dress. Let's be honest. It's not the best dress.
No. It was very simple, very basic.
And of course,
if that was on a cape, I might be like more
right. It was just like what you say. Like if you're gonna do it, let's do it. Like let's not beat around the bush here. Let's do something interesting. And I mean, she's a politician, so she doesn't need to look good. That's not her thing. But you're at the Met Gala, so
right.
If you're not gonna show up in a good gown, maybe just don't go.
Did you show up at all?
But she definitely showed up and I didn't like her then trying to justify it by posting about like Google searches for tax the rich went up because of me at the Met Gala, and I'm like, because people wanted to see that dress,
right?
And I don't understand that people are asking this, like we're saying this thing of like, no, it's good because she did it in front of the rich people, as if rich people have never like contemplated the thought of being taxed. Like that's all they think
especially those rich people.
Yeah.
Because those all those rich people they're the ones that are quote unquote on our side.
Right. They're gonna eat that shit up. Like I wanted her, like part of me was like, the dress should say like, I'm coming for you, Jeff. Like I'm coming, like something. I know that's crazy. That's crazy. And she can't do that because then people would be like,
that's how you do it. If you're gonna do it,
right.
Do it.
And that's why the Met Gala is the realm of the artist. Don't bring politicians into it. Like they just don't need to be there. They just don't need to be there because they can't make those statements without getting like, it get messy. But maybe
right.
It's gonna get messy.
The statement queen was there though. Lil Nas X.
Yes.
Showed up.
Yes.
In a three layer situation.
It was a 3-act play. Yeah.
Yeah, there was like the big poofy thing which signified hiding your true self.
Totally. Beautiful.
And then he took that off and it was the gold armor which signified like, walking in your truth but being like shielded by that armor and being protected. And then the full exposure of living freely was like the cute little jumpsuit that he had on. That man is beautiful.
Yeah, he is.
I just say
he's so beautiful.
And he knows it.
Yeah.
He's very proud of it.
He is.
He's like the perfect internet troll. He's everywhere right now. It's insane.
Yeah.
Well, his album just came out. Congratulations, right. Montero.
Congratulations, Montero. Do you love it?
I've listened to a lot of it. I haven't finished it completely, but Same. It's what I love about it is that it's like he feels like such a kid of the 90s.
Yeah.
And what I say about that is like he's nailing the marketing game. Mm-hmm. He's the perfect internet troll. Mm-hmm. He has the like right amount of apathy, but I actually care and I'm super sappy.
Right. He's a romantic for sure.
Super romantic.
Yeah.
Super sex positive, but safe sex. had used a condom in his music video. Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he's just like nailing it. He's like perfect at all of this.
Yeah.
And in the meanwhile, he's like raising money for gay people. He's raising money for people to get bailed out. Like,
Right.
he's going and
doing it
performing
right.
for kids.
He's doing it right. I mean, do you think there's a world where he runs for office?
No, not everyone needs to run for office.
And
No.
I hope he does not do that. I hope that never happens.
I hope he doesn't. That would suck.
Just because I don't want AOC at the Met Gala, and I don't want him running for office. But
right.
that's the problem of our country. The two are not like they're like, it's like they're dating. You know, our culture and politics are dating.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, but like it's really interesting because he really is starting a lot of conversations right now in many different corners because he is huge and he is like, I read this article that was like Lil Nas is doing all the things that you were not supposed to be able to do. Mm-hmm. Like, you were not supposed to be this like very openly gay rapper. And also black rapper pop star thing. Right. Like, because what is he? He's kind of like everything.
Right.
But do you remember at the, I believe it was the American Music Awards. I don't know. Don't quote me. It might be wrong.
Okay.
But Adam Lambert did a performance in which he kissed a man.
Yes.
And there was uproar.
Yes.
Like, it was insanity. And Lil Nas X did it, like...
Just
and, I mean, I guess there was some uproar, like, but not really. And a lot of that uproar is coming from rappers in the black community or in the hip-hop community. I mean, they're not just for the black community, but that's who's talking about them because no one else is talking about you, Boosie. Shut up. Right. But he's just like, I'm like, sir, if you want a blowjob from Lil Nas X that bad, like, just
ask. I'm sure he might, you know.
He might at least think about it. I mean,
he
he seems happy with that boyfriend of his.
Or
I'm pretty sure
you to someone else. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that dancer that he kissed is his boyfriend, and that's the same guy that was in the music video. I'm pretty sure that's the same guy.
That's cute.
He's starting all these conversations, and that's the idea of what politics is supposed to do, right? It's supposed to be starting these conversations so that we can solve something.
Right.
But I have not felt like as energized by any politician as I do by Lil Nas X.
I know.
And he's in every conversation.
Right.
He's going to hospitals. He is making bail funds. He's clearly starting conversations in houses about the LGBT community because all these people are upset because their kids love Lil Nas X. Mm-hmm. Like, they love his music, they love his sound, like, and really, if you don't watch the music videos, like, the songs are fine. Right. Like, you don't really know what's going on.
Right. Unless you're really listening to them, because when you listen to them, you're like, whoa, he's talking about some, like, DL culture and like some like, it's layered. It's great. It's so layered. My favorite really part of the album so far, and this is very superficial, but it's hilarious to me, that there's a track on there, I think it's One of Me, that features Elton John. And I'm listening to this song, like, so excited for this, like, what is Elton John gonna bring? Like, he's gonna come in with that like old Elton John voice that is like that, like, and I figured he'd be like singing something like about like, I am gay and you are gay and you're one of me and I'm one of you, and like something like that.
Your Elton John is really good. It was really good.
Thanks. Yeah, I've worked on it. but it's just a 10-second piano solo that is
at
like
the end.
A little messy. It's
literally
messy.
At the end of the song. It's like fading out, and then you hear piano playing. And what's really interesting about it is that you've been waiting for Elton John the whole time. You know that's Elton John playing the piano.
You're like, that's all it could be. There's only 5 seconds
Elton
left.
Is that all it's gonna be? No.
Okay.
What a way to sell an album.
Really. Part of me is like, there's some theories. We were talking about this in our household. Either he sent them more and Lil Nas was like, this is not good. I can't put this in the song. He's singing about his days as a young gay. Like, this just doesn't fit. something's not right. This is not for this time. It doesn't. I don't know. Why did we ask him to do this? I know he's gay, but like, why did he defended Eminem? Like, why are we asking him? So let's just do that little piano thing he put in there. Or Elton John like forgot that he was supposed to do this, and like day of sent them like, oh, here, send me the track and I'll do some piano riff on it. Cause what? Why else? Why else would it be there?
I'm not sure. Yeah. I mean, it's really iconic on your first album to be able to list the Elton artists John. That he's like Megan Thee Stallion, Doja Cat, Miley Cyrus, Elton John. Right. Like the features on this album are nuts.
It's like We Are the World, but in an album. Like it's like all these people are there.
You know, he would be the one to do the We Are the World remake. Of today, like that would be good. He would. Did you see his Jolene?
No, he does a Jolene.
Yes, he did a BBC like concert thing, and Jolene.
Is it kind of acoustic? Is it kind of an acoustic take?
It is kind of acoustic. It's great. It's fantastic. Jolene, everybody check it out. Lil Nas X singing Jolene. And it's really interesting because he's also such a great storyteller.
Yeah.
And I think someday he'll end up doing more acting things. It's gonna happen.
Oh, of course.
Because he's like telling the story, like, and it's a different story than the story that Dolly was telling. Because
what
it's
if
coming
he
from
did
the perspective of a gay man?
What if he did The Bodyguard? What if they gender bended The Bodyguard and made it gay? What would that be? Is that the take? Is that what we want?
I don't know, Brad. I might almost buy that. I might almost buy it. I'm like 2 steps away from buying that.
Yeah.
But if and only if Lil Nas X is the star.
Of course. It can't be like produced by him and some, actor that we kind of don't know. It has to be him.
Okay, we're going to put it out right now
that's a good
on
idea.
This show that the casting for The Bodyguard
should
include Lil Nas X.
Because the story is all about her falling in love with the bodyguard, yeah?
Yeah.
And that's what can you? That's all we want to see happen
with
Lil Nas.
That would be nice. That would be nice.
That would be
okay.
Nice.
You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah, it's happening. Call Hulu. Someone needs to call Hulu. Please. I have to bring this up. And I might get so much hate from our listeners. Thousands of listeners. For this. But I actually enjoyed Kim Kardashian's look.
Here's the thing. I wasn't mad at it.
Yeah, she did
because it was the Met Gala.
Right.
I just feel like no one else around her tried.
Right. And how funny was it to see her posing next to these people, and she is a literal wraith spirit, evil thing, which
a Dementor.
A Dementor, yeah. She looked like a Dementor, and I thought it was great. And I don't know.
Do you think she wore makeup?
That's a great question.
And did she have hair on?
Right. Was it her? Was it even her?
Oh my God! Could you imagine? She's just like, can you send someone else?
I don't really.
Paris Hilton used to do that. Remember, apparently there was some episode of the Surreal Life where she was auditioning people to replace her somewhere. Not the Surreal Life.
Yeah. What was her show? I don't know. Can't remember.
The one with her and Nicole Richie.
Oh, Simple Life.
Simple Life.
Sweet Life.
But
did you call it the Sweet Life?
I said the Surreal Life, which was the show where we got Flavor Flav back and then got the Flavor of Flav and all that, Flavor of Love and all that stuff. That is a reboot that is happening, and I am very excited about it.
About the Surreal Life.
Yes, I'm okay with that.
Hosting?
I don't know who's hosting, and I'm not sure. I don't think they have a cast yet.
Like DaBaby?
Oh, he can't come.
No.
DaBaby got kicked out.
Kicked out, yeah. He's
of everywhere. Everyone said no.
Yeah, he's over. And
another person that got in trouble for talking about getting a blowjob from Lil Nas X.
Yeah.
Stop it. Right. What if you want it that bad? Just make it happen.
I know. And this is the crisis of straight males today. They just don't. They're kind of like boomers in the way that they're like, everything's getting away from me. like things aren't about me. Things aren't centered on me anymore. I can't really. I'm confused and scared, and I don't understand. So they're lashing out in these ways, and it's just like if you just chilled out and maybe just try being gay for a little bit, maybe. I don't think that's the prescriptive thing for everyone, but I don't know.
For some, it definitely is.
For some, yeah, for sure.
Well, you know, speaking of questionable gays, so RuPaul
Oh God.
Charles
Oh God.
is now the most decorated Emmy winner, the most decorated black Emmy winner.
Good.
RuPaul has the most Emmys of any black person ever.
Damn.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
RuPaul feels creepy.
Yeah.
There's something creepy about him.
Yeah.
And I mean, it could be the fracking.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think is really funny about the fracking that the queens aren't allowed to talk about it.
That's weird, and that's when
they're
you're
contractually not allowed to talk about the fact that RuPaul is a fracker.
That's when you pack it up. It's time to pack it up and go find something else to do. But I know that that's their only route for like stardom, though. But
I feel like for so long there was also this idea that Ru and the queens like knew each other.
No,
but they don't.
It's like Ellen.
Like, and it's become more apparent on the show now, because, you know, I watch every version that comes out. I think UK is coming out this week, that we're recording in, so that's exciting. But like there's still this like, wow, like it's just like an honor to be in your presence, like bow down quality that exists that's so strange.
It's funniest to watch like that clip of Bob the drag queen, and I don't know who else he's talking to.
Peppermint?
Where they bring up the fracking, and then they have to like.
That's my favorite video ever.
Great. It's great. Bob the drag, he's probably. I don't know. Does he have? Does he go by he? He, they, she. Probably all of them.
I believe, but probably all of them, respectfully.
Yeah, probably.
I love Bob. I'm
Bob.
a big Bianca stan.
Yeah. You saw
I also
Bob.
love him. I am Bianca.
Before Bob was, like, big.
I saw Bianca right after her win, and because she had a show I believe it was a Tuesday night at Industry in New York, and I went, and it was, Bianca was in town, and Bob, they did this show together where they play YouTube videos and, like, comment on them.
Yeah.
And I saw Bianca the Queen right after her win. And Bob, and I was like, Bob's amazing. If Bob went on RuPaul's Drag Race, Bob would win RuPaul's Drag Race.
And Bob won.
And then Bob was on, and I was like, everyone, this is Bob the Drag Queen. This is who's winning.
Yeah.
And people doubted Bob the entire season.
Yeah. I mean.
I did not.
Right. You saw Bob from the start.
The start.
You knew. Yeah. It's like. But what is Bob doing now? Bob did a stand-up thing. I mean, but that's the thing. These queens are booked. Like, doing so many things that we don't even know about. Right. Like
they're back out around the world performing again. Like, they do shows that they can't really publicize because, like, I heard about, did you ever go? Apparently there's this bar in the UK where they do, like, naked competitions every week or something. Like, how did you not go there?
No, I didn't go.
Yeah, and
Is
drag
it
queens,
in
like
London?
drag queens and porn stars host it. Yeah.
Wow.
Someone literally just told me about it. How'd you miss that?
I mean, I was, very busy at the Globe Theater doing Shakespeare.
Similar work.
Yeah, totally. That sounds great.
But yeah, I mean, it's a lot like the shower situation at the
saloon.
At the saloon,
which I don't know if that's how the saloon kind of got canceled a little bit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know if we should talk about it. It might be our version of the fracking, but apparently there was a whole. I mean, neither of us have any sort of. The saloon is a gay bar in Minneapolis. For those of you listening.
Yes.
And it's a good. Well, I don't know if it's a good gay bar anymore, but it's like the most popular gay bar.
Yeah. You know what I love? One of my favorite things about Minneapolis is there were a number of times where I would go to a bar and be like, oh, they support gay people here, and then it would be a gay bar. Like, I would go there on accident because it was my type of bar. It was like a divey.
Right.
You mentioned dive bars earlier, and I just want to share this piece of our relationship with the people. Brad and I lived in Minneapolis. You were there first for school, and I showed up to work and things.
Yep.
And we went to a bunch of bars accidentally on like what were the tailgate nights? Like we would just end up there for like
beer bus
for like beer softball beer bus.
Yep.
Like
Softball,
like for a whole year.
Yep.
Like Brad and I exclusively hung out at beer bus for random gay softball teams.
Yeah, gay softball teams would be having their beer bus, and we would just end up being there on the night. It's almost as if we had a sense. We could smell that we like knew, which is great because they're good times. Like that's the
there
time.
was so much fun.
They're actually like in adjacent to drag shows. Like they're actually pretty fun. Like you get that rowdy sports energy of gays. Gays with their sports energy is different than.
It's like very strange
it's
energy.
A different energy because there's not as much competition. I don't think. I didn't sense like an unhealthy amount of competition. It's more about
no
getting more of fun. They just want to have
They're just having fun, having fun. The things that people get serious about are like when I was at the saloon, and it was the American Music Awards.
Yes.
And Cher was getting the Lifetime Achievement Award.
I was there with you then too.
And she was giving her speech, and people were literally screaming at each other. Like she was giving her speech, people were like, "Stop talking! She's speaking.
Yeah,
Cher is speaking."
Yeah. People were like, "Okay, all right." It was like, like people took that more seriously than like when COVID was making things shut down. I was at a bar the day that Broadway shut down, and like no one really cared. They're like, "Oh, weird." Okay, did you watch the VMAs? Did you follow any of them?
I watched clips and stuff from the VMAs.
Like, does anyone no one watches these things in full.
I feel like they're boring. They're not good anymore.
No.
Like hosts used to try, like the sets used to be interesting,
Yes.
like things used to happen at award shows, but now it's just about the performances.
Right. And you know what? You need a host. You need a host. I don't know why we've gotten so anti-host.
It was the Kevin Hart thing.
Yeah, it was.
It was that one Oscar year where Kevin Hart was going to host, and then people were like, "We found these rude tweets, and like these are homophobic," and he was like, "Yes," and I have absolutely apologized for those, and I did that,
Right?
And they were like, "Well, apologize again," and I will. I can be upset with Kevin Hart for a lot of reasons,
Right?
But I am not going to be upset with him because he did not re-apologize for you to feel good about some tweets that he put out years ago.
It's time to and it's like, well, okay, let's see if you do a good job. Are you going to be funny at the Oscars? Like, can you do it?
Yeah,
okay, let's see.
Well, and literally, and then he dropped out, and then that's when every award show was like, maybe we shouldn't have hosts.
Yeah, they got a little too scared. Because there were other people who were going to host things, and then, they just were like, nope, That's what, I mean, the host is the star. That's what carries it all together. You want to, we went through, remember, we had the Ricky Gervais times where he was just saying, like, crude and terrible things. And then we had the monstrosity of James Franco and Anne Hathaway, which was terrible.
Oh, that was awful.
But also fun and exciting. We didn't
they
know.
tried.
They tried. It was painful. And
Ellen was a really great host.
Ellen,
she did it a few times.
God bless her. She was.
Yeah. God bless her. In her final season. Go Ellen.
Yeah, for real. And then, remember the Seth MacFarlane year?
Oh, yeah.
That was like peak. And I've watched clips and they're not great. Like, he's not that good. Like, they're pretty gross. Like, it's shock value. So we've gone entirely the other way. I just don't think we realized we were like we were at the other end of the spectrum when we were like Ricky Gervaising it and Seth MacFarlane in it. And now we're like, no hosts.
Like, just come out and read the card.
Yeah. I mean, it was Doja Cat, right? That was technically
Doja hosted the VMAs this year.
Okay.
Apparently, she was fine. The clips I saw were good. What was she wearing? She had this like worm thing on.
That was like, it's some designer's thing. It's like,
You know what's really interesting about like pop right now?
Tell me.
I don't think that we've had artists since like Lady Gaga, Rihanna that have had actual staying power.
Yeah.
And I think that with Lil Nas X and Doja, and maybe Billie Eilish.
Maybe.
Maybe.
We'll see.
We have a few that might actually, because my question right now is, like, at the award shows, there's always like the celebration of the music, and the people get to sing. They sing like tributes.
Right.
Who are we tributing? And who's singing it?
Right.
Like, because I'm like, that's always my question, because I'm like, who are our pop? Are there any more pop icons? Like, do they exist? Like, is Lil Nas X our only hope to get a new one?
And that's a good, he's a good one to have. Billy, I'm not so sure of. I've always felt very dark energy from her. Like,
there's this weird dark energy, but also a wholesome thing because it's her brother.
Yeah, that's a good aspect of it. It's a good relationship. I just want to see, like, where's she gonna go? How's she gonna pivot? Because she's gone from this, like, I was like this punky, like underground gutter child who like had green hair and blah blah blah, and now she's doing this Marilyn Monroe thing, and I'm like, where's the music gonna go though? Well, what about like Lana Del Rey? Like, she's definitely stayed, but she's like also in this dark category now.
Lana's like married to a cop or something. Yeah. So
well,
I have to write her off.
And Nikki's an anti-vaxxer now.
Yeah, that's because her friend's cousin, they had testicle swelling.
Yeah, and so understandable. Do your research and don't get bullied. That's what I loved about like her. And then she said, like, what did she say? She was like, what did she say? She was like, I had COVID for a week and it was terrible. Do you know what it's like to have a baby and not be able to kiss him for a whole week? And I'm like, no. And why are you putting this on me? I don't. And I'm sorry that happened to you, but like, stop. This is a little manipulative of you. But it's fine. Whatever.
I also love that the next day there was like the White House reaches out to Nicki Minaj for a conversation about her vaccine hesitancy.
She wants the moment that Kim Kardashian had in the White House. Remember when Kim went to the White House to say?
Oh yeah.
I think Nicki wants a like White House moment, and
yep, that's what this is all about, I'm sure.
And you know what? I've heard from some political commentators that I listen to that they're like, I think it would be good for the country if Nicki Minaj went to the White House. They were like, I think it will be really good for vaccine hesitancy. And I'm like, are you listening to the words coming out of your mouth?
It's all insanity. Yeah. No one's listening.
No one's listening. Yeah.
I've gotten to this point where like I've decided that my tactic, I just have to start laughing at people.
Yeah.
I just have to start laughing in people's faces because I'm like, and then the only response you can have when you laugh in someone's face is, why are you laughing at me? And then I would have to respond with like, did you just hear yourself?
Yeah.
And then hopefully I can like force some critical thinking. Like, cause I can't do it anymore. I'm like out here using all these smart ass words. Out here trying to talk to these people that have no idea what's happening.
I know. No one, yeah, and yeah, it's pretty grim. It's pretty grim. It feels like we're in the wrap-up stage of humanity. Like, we're kind of wrapping up. Like,
how long is the wrap-up?
I almost know. That's the thing.
Wanted to just speed up.
Right. But then what does that happen? Like, is the whole Earth gonna explode? I mean, I think it will be slower than we think, but I don't know. These I can't. This climate change.
I mean, let's talk about it, okay? Because,
like, what?
Brad, I don't know if you know, but in our hometown of Omaha, Nebraska, we have had 2 major water situations. Mm-hmm. On July 9th, my birthday, shout out, there were hurricane level winds and rain in Omaha, Nebraska. And then a month later, we had flooding that took cars away, flooding that almost drowned people in an elevator downtown.
The storm that shut the whole city's power down in Omaha, that was in July from the flooding.
Yes.
Jeez.
There were 2.
Jeez.
And I totally hear you. Hurricane Ida destroyed everything. But the fact that no one is discussing the fact that Omaha, Nebraska is trying to float away to a place that doesn't exist is wild to me. This is
the thing. Midwestern climate change things don't get any sort of traction. They really don't, because they're not exciting enough to the media. I'm sorry, this is just the truth. I'm terribly sorry for everyone who had to suffer through that.
Do you think, though, that it's not exciting enough, or that they realize that if they told people about that people would really realize that we're in shit and that it's not going to get better?
I wish that the majority of the public was that smart, but I don't think they are, that they would see that and they'd just be like, I don't understand. Why is it flooding in Nebraska? I'm not going to connect that to climate change, but I am confused. Like, I think that's what they would think. A lot of people would, unfortunately. And or they would say, we've had enough. We don't want Omaha, Nebraska to sink in.
We cannot let the city of Omaha waste away like this.
We can't have Omaha turning into Venice. There's no way.
Do they even have boats?
Yeah, there's no canal system set up. The old market.
They just do not have the infrastructure for that.
What infrastructure?
We know.
Yeah, we're aware. Are you sad to leave? Are you excited to go to Kansas City, which is kind of like...
Oh, no, I'm excited. I'm excited. I think it's going to be good to get out of Omaha for a little bit.
I love Kansas City.
I mean, it's not I'm going far. Kansas City's great. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited to be in a new environment for a bit. I've been in Omaha for a long time again now.
Yeah.
A lot has happened to me and around me since I've been in Omaha.
This is true.
For this time.
This is true.
Almost a year. I've been back for almost a whole year. Isn't that crazy?
That is kind of crazy. You're there. You've been there for a full year.
So I think getting out of here, taking a little breaky poo, hanging out in Kansas City, I think that'll be good for me.
Kansas City is cool. It's very beautiful.
It is cool.
It's like Des Moines and Omaha had a baby, or it's like the cousin. It's like the cool cousin of those two cities. It's like a little cooler, but like it also looks up to Minneapolis as like its role model. That's how I feel about it. Is there a river that goes through that city?
Yes.
And on one side is Missouri.
Don't ask me which one.
And one side is Kansas.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
It's probably the Missouri River.
It's probably. It could be, but those rivers are tricky.
They are. Yeah. Some people will be like, "This is the." Yeah. In like Minneapolis, people get like a little. What's that one that's like? I don't know. It's like the fancier offshoot of the Mississippi. St. Croix. Like, this isn't the Mississippi. It's the St. Croix River. All right. Sorry.
Listen, the people of Minneapolis know their water.
They sure do.
Minnesotans
do you
know
miss
their
Minneapolis?
Water. I really like Minneapolis. I just went back there. I went for a wedding.
Oh, I'm going for a wedding in October.
Shut up.
Yeah, it's a lesbian wedding. It's my first gay wedding.
Yeah. Whoa. Uh-huh. You know, I also have never been to a gay wedding.
Yeah, I know.
Do you think it's going to be different?
Yeah. I think it will be less... It'll either be way less stressful or so much more stressful for some reason. I'm guessing it won't be stressful because I always I get really stressed out by weddings in general, going to them.
Even if you're attending?
Yeah, yes. I know, I've never had a wedding.
Well,
for me.
that checks out. That checks out.
Yeah, of all my weddings that I've been the group, I've been super stressed. The five different times, 5 different lives
to
the same man over and over. We just keep getting divorced and then remarried 5 times. But
that's gay love.
That is gay love, and that's why I don't think you see as many gay weddings, because they're like, this is gonna be too much. We'll get divorced within 7 months, and then we'll get married again, and it's just not. Let's just. That's in this age. Before, you know why we couldn't get married, because we weren't citizens technically, or we weren't people.
We're still barely. I mean, I'm still kind of like not a citizen. I'm like
Right.
borderline citizen.
Right. Yes, this is true. Unfortunately. borderline citizen. Yeah. But the thing
And not like the ones coming from Haiti. That's because even like, yeah, weird. Yeah. What a terrible thing that's happening right now. Oh my God.
Yeah, all of that is terrible. I mean, it's dark. I mean, the things I don't want to talk about, I'm like, let's not touch Afghanistan. Let's not touch Texas. Let's not it's like, no, I don't have any energy for it. It's too heavy.
You know what's really interesting about it though? Like kind of in like an all-encompassing, like kind of interesting topic.
Just kind of, yeah.
I mean, we went from 4 years of having, I mean, outside of COVID, which like even still somehow in a pandemic, we still just talked about the idiocracy of the former president.
Right.
And that's what the topics was. As soon as he was gone, we went back to the same three arguments.
Yes.
The same exact three. I forgot.
Yeah.
I forgot that this is what we talk about all the time.
That is so true.
Like the border, Afghanistan, and abortion.
Yes.
Like clockwork. We went back instantly.
It's like the old regime, the old guard, which is definitely Biden. Like him and Bush are essentially pretty much similar. Like they're of the same time. They may have different whatever, but like they are of the same crowd. But they're like, they just were like, let's get back on that. That was an episode. That was a weird episode. That was a weird season of the show. We experimented. We took some artistic license with that season. We learned a lot.
You imagine there's like there's a showrunner. Like Washington D.C. has a showrunner. For those that may not know, a showrunner is the lead writer on a TV series.
Like Tina Fey for 30 Rock, if you need an example. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But like there's like somebody that's like, okay, great. So like season
Obama
2016 through 2020. What a great twist.
Wonderful.
No one saw it coming.
Yeah. They never thought it could happen, but it did, and we nailed it.
They're like, how much can we move those lines? Like I think it would be incredible if Hillary could win the popular vote by a landslide.
Yeah.
But then we still end up in the tragedy. And I want us to call it like before we're even done counting, so she can just keep getting more votes so it makes even less sense days after.
Yeah. Just really confuse everyone. I mean, just throw them into that is crazy. I forget that was part of it. I just forget. Because it is. They just were like, well, let's like remember that great drama we spun in 2000 with the recall and the Florida and the even this is the same playbook, but then they were like, let's add a really entertaining character to it, which is Donald Trump, because Bush was boring.
And then this past time, it was like Reading Rainbow version. Like it was like everyone on the channels was very excited about telling you how it worked.
Right.
How did it feel to be in the most contested territory?
Oh my God.
During that time. And is there still a recount happening in Arizona at this moment? Do you know?
Maybe in some guy's basement who makes a podcast about the recount, who's like like a hardcore libertarian QAnon, like ex-QAnon is moving on to whatever the next thing is for QAnon. Like that guy, yeah, I think so. But I think like what are we gonna gain? What do you want? Like. And here's the thing.
And we're so far in at this point that I'm like, at this point, you just gotta like,
you gotta wait,
let it go, just let it go.
You gotta let it go, and just
even if it was wrong, which it wasn't,
right?
You just gotta let it go.
And it's like, we let it go. We let you have your turn. We let you go
when it was
house.
Very wrong.
Yeah,
we continued to watch, and we're just like, well, that's the system. That's just how it works.
That's how they like to play. They like to play this way.
And that is not. And
that's
to
not
be clear,
good.
I don't know where I stand. I don't know if I'm on anyone's side really, because no one's really on my side.
Right,
so
right.
When I say we, I guess I'm talking like. At this point, I feel like I'm in some winning seat, I guess, and I think we're both on the same page.
Yes, we are.
But yes, we did. Like we were like, that's the system. Like, we know that the popular vote, like, it's, this is what happened with Andrew Jackson, too.
Right.
So,
as long as you let us be, like, crazy mad the whole time that he's in that house, like, let us just be insanely angry at him all the time.
Well, I mean, and he gave us, like...
so much.
Plenty of reason.
So much. I forget.
Plenty of reason.
This is the sleep. This is the nap time. We're in a nap time. At least for us, because my conservative family members they are in the place that I was during Trump time. Like, they're freaking out about every little thing. They're following the news way closer than I am, which is bad. I should be following the news just as much as I was. But I also would say to them, no, stop following the news. Stop.
Well, because you know what they're talking about now. Like, when Homeboy was in office, like, you just never knew what he was going to be saying. And it's not even just what he was saying, it's that, like...
And Homeboy, you mean Trump. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, to be clear to the listeners.
Yeah.
But he was able to say something ridiculous, and then it would happen.
Right.
Like the travel ban. Remember that one time when there were literally, like, people stuck at the airport, and I was like... How did he make that happen in 3 seconds?
Right.
I'm like, literally anything that anyone has ever wanted the government to do, we have been told to wait. And this man has got into office, and for some reason, he says a thing and it happens. And so it was literally like no one had time to, like, because there was actual news. Well, there was actual news all the time.
He got in, if it's a boat, he got in and he just started taking the steering wheel and steering like crazy. Biden has got in and is just holding the steering wheel.
But what happened to all the bureaucracy? Like, that's what was confusing to me, is I was like, what? We have always been told patience. These things take time. This motherfucker just proved that it doesn't take much time at all to get anything done. He has ruined everything in 3 seconds.
Yeah, you can do anything if you're in there. You really can. Absolute power. It's the truth. And anyone who is in there and isn't using that power, you're almost like, you're a puppet. You must be a puppet. Like, the fact, I mean, don't we have, like, all the majority? Couldn't we be passing, like, crazy progressive legislature, but we're not?
Oh, yeah.
Because, I mean, we have the House, we have all the...
Everybody's doing this, like, we're trying to be bipartisan. We need to get back to a place... Everyone has forgotten that we've never agreed with each other.
Right.
Like, everyone has forgotten that, like, yes, y'all were friends on the floor. That's because you was all white and men.
Right.
And so you always talk to each other. Like, yes, we know you made backdoor deals, but everyone's forgetting that there has never been a time there can never be a time in a situation where there are only two parties fighting each other that there will ever be agreements. That's not a thing.
Right.
Everybody's like, I missed the time when we could agree to disagree. Well, that means that we're still disagreeing.
Right.
Like, so there's never been a time where this kumbaya thing that y'all are talking about has never existed.
Agree to disagree is very, like, Midwestern and that's a white thing.
Yes.
Agreeing to disagree is a, like, weird thing that it's born out of the church, I think. Like, something about it feels Protestant. The agree to disagree nature of things. Like, it's not... Because it's this thing you say to someone when they're telling you that God doesn't exist. I think that's that's probably the first time someone ever said it, was when someone was like, well, I don't think God really exists. And I agree to disagree. Because he does. Like, that's not how I feel, but.
Well, okay, so I had this really interesting conversation, actually, about God and his existence.
Oh, yeah, you were talking about that earlier, yeah.
I was. So, I think that when people talk about God, there's this weird, like, omnipresent thing that's like watching. It's like Santa Claus. I don't think that's
you froze
true.
for a second. You froze for a second.
Okay,
God intervened.
No. Are you here, God?
I'm here.
No, I was just saying. I think that when people talk about God, they talk about this, like, omnipresent thing that's, like, floating in space. It's like watching. It's like Santa Claus. Like, people are like, he sees you. But I don't think that. I believe that there were a lot of things that happened across the time that people documented, like a flood. There was a really cool dude that had a name something like Jesus that was doing dope shit.
Some
that
guy.
people were writing about it. And I think that God exists in like things like music and like happenstance. For example, I went to this wedding in Minneapolis and I was like, I'm poor, I'm a freelancer, I'm in between gigs, I have no money, I can't make it to this wedding. And my friend was like, I want you to come to this wedding, ride with my family, here I can connect you with them, and then I want you to, you can stay in my apartment, like we won't be there, we're going to be at a hotel, like I'll put the keys in the grill, like really took care of me. And then like there was a shuttle that was going from the hotel in St. Paul to this wedding, which was in Hastings, Minnesota. So I was like, well, I'm going to Uber to the shuttle, I guess, and blah, blah, blah. So I had a friend, and I was like, hey, let's hang out before this wedding because it's in the afternoon. And she was like, well, where do you have to go to the shuttle? I was like, oh, St. Paul. She's like, where in St. Paul? And I was like, oh, the in something hotel. And she's like, on Kellogg Boulevard? And I was like, yeah. She was like, I live on Kellogg Boulevard. She was like a 4-minute walk from this place, and then I could stay there. I could like walk to the shuttle. Like moments like that, I'm like, thanks whoever you are,
Yes.
like for making this thing happen.
I
Like
think God is
that's where
more-
God exists for me,
Yes.
you know.
God is more. I think the closest thing we as humans have made to God is these algorithms. That's what God is. I think God is just maybe not so sentient, but is like putting. There's something that's out there. Yeah, putting things together, making. Yeah, like well, he's staying at that hotel and she lives, so we'll make them meet, and then it'll be good.
Okay, we'll put that in there.
Yeah. But then you think about all the bad things.
God's like an actuary.
Yeah.
Just like has an abacus. He's like,
An
Okay.
abacus. I love abacus. Any joke that involves an abacus is very fun. That is a hilarious
It's gonna
prop.
kill.
Yeah.
it's gonna kill.
It's a good prop. You come out doing anything with an abacus, I'm gonna laugh. But then it begs the question of, okay, so if God is some sort of algorithm that just gets you from point A to point B in a convenient way, he must be fucking up a lot too. That algorithm's not that good because some shit
It's not
goes
perfect.
wrong. Really goes
It's
wrong.
not perfect. People should not almost die from drowning in elevators in Omaha, Nebraska.
Right. That's insane. Did they sue? Did they get any sort of like what? How are those people?
I mean, sue who? Earth?
Right.
Like for raining?
We'll sue the elevator company.
Yeah, because I'm sure the elevator company was like banking on the
Right.
ocean to be in the bottom floor of that building in Omaha, Nebraska.
I mean,
I mean, did anyone get sued for the Titanic? Because that's a suing situation.
It's like, because they did promise. They said, this is unsinkable. This is like a really...
I mean, it was until they ran into the iceberg.
They weren't even...
Like, that's the part of that. People were like, that ship was supposed to be unsinkable.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, but it also wasn't supposed to get gashed by an iceberg.
It was.
Like,
But I don't think they were trying to miss them. I think they were pretty bold,
No.
and they were just like, we could do anything in this ship.
yeah, they were like, we'll stay the course.
Right. Now,
They killed all those people.
They did. This is a question similar. I mean, speaking of tragedies, do you have any 9/11 reflections? Anything you'd like to share? Is that too much for the first episode?
Oh man, I mean, we're in it now.
We're in
like
it
here
now.
we are.
I've asked the question.
You know, what was wild to me is like, it's been 20 years.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yes.
I remember exactly where I was.
Yeah, me too.
I was at school. I remember that I was in third grade at the time, but I've always been a little genius, and so I was in a 5th grade reading class.
Damn.
And so we were sitting, and our teacher, we talked about it. I remember we talked about it in depth, and like something that always stuck with me from that conversation. I don't remember all of it, of course, because I was 8, but something that stuck with me from that conversation was she made this point. She was like, you know, sometimes people will do things for their faith. Even if they don't want to do it, even if they don't think that it's something that they should do, like,
Damn.
it's their faith will make them do it. And I think that that's maybe something that what we might be seeing today. And I was like, I'm 8. But I remember that. I remember that to this day.
Yeah.
Do you remember, where were you? You were younger than me. You were like 6.
Yeah, I was young. I was being homeschooled still at the time. As this is a thing you must all know about me, that I was homeschooled from like until 4th grade. I was homeschooled.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's the like most Nebraskan thing about me. The most like
I love learning that with our listeners. That's exciting to me.
Yeah, it's a vulnerable moment for all of us. But I was we didn't, we weren't really doing school. That day was a birthday party, because that's what you do when you're in homeschool. You do a couple of worksheets, and then your mom tells you about, this is what a hill is, and then you go putt-putt golf for someone's birthday. And so I was at my best homeschool friend, Johnny, and we were at putt-putt golf. And first I remember waking up and my mom just being like out of her mind, like what's going on? And I woke up and came into her room right as the second plane hit the tower. Mm-hmm. And I saw that and was just kind of like, was like, whoa, okay, it's 9 a.m. That's what I'm seeing, and I'm kind of just confused. And then we went putt-putt golfing, and the thing that seared it into my mind was that we saw Air Force One flying above us, because they came to Nebraska.
Yeah,
they came to Nebraska, and that was like we were all putt-putt golfing. Like, is there anything more American than this happening? You're putt-putt golfing during 9/11, and Air Force One flies over you, and you live in Nebraska. This is what this is manifest destiny. Like, that's
you are the American dream.
Like, it's so gross, and I'm homeschooled. That's where I was. And I would always, every once in a while, I'll like review 9/11. Like, I'll go and like watch videos and get up to date on all the facts, and I've kind of dropped off on that recently, because I'm kind of like, I think I processed it, and I think I understand it. But now it seems like now we're really getting into, the media really wants you to
there were like 15 9/11 documentaries that came out. Like, Hulu produced one. Your faves, Hulu, they produced one.
The best. I'm sure theirs is the best. I just think, and this is something I've heard, I think the HBO one, which was Spike Lee, he had 30 minutes in it that was kind of questioning some things, and they took it out. And
of course,
because, and that's why I'm like, I don't need to watch these. We know the narrative, and this is the narrative, and that's probably all we should say, because we're going to put this on YouTube, and we don't want to be
correct.
So
correct.
Stick with the narrative. Good for you, Spike. Good for you.
Yeah, thank you for attempting to put that out in the world.
Right, and you tried.
And if you want to understand the narrative that we're speaking about, there are a lot of our neighbors on YouTube that have taken deep dives. Just take some dives with them.
They'll probably get suggested in the autoplay. Right after this. Jeez. I mean, it's wild. It is. The 20-year mark is kind of crazy. And I've been kind of like, this is going to be a big one. And it was, but it also wasn't at the same time. It's like...
No.
Some kids don't know. There are kids that don't.
They have no idea. There are people that weren't even born. Brad, how does it make you feel that we sound like every person that we've made fun of for our entire lives when we talk about our age?
I know. Yeah, it's true. You become this. This is what's so silly about it's the folly of young generations. They just think they're the shit, and then it's like Madonna. You see Madonna now, and you're like, you're so embarrassing. You're so old and embarrassing, and like, we do need to forget that you existed. Like, she was the cool shit, and you're not gonna be the cool shit. That's what I'll say. That's my advice to Gen Z.
That's our advice to Gen Z. Yeah. You're not always gonna be
Gen
the
Z.
Cool shit.
You'll always be Gen Z, but you won't. There's gonna be Gen Alpha, and they're gonna be insane. The next generation's gonna be an insane group of individuals. I know this.
I'm a little concerned.
I know, cause I am too. Not for my well-being, but like they're gonna confuse me. They're gonna be even more mean to me than Gen Z. And we're not even old. We're not geriatric millennials.
We're not. We're young millennials. We're
are.
like we're on the fresh side of millennial.
I know, and that's kind of the hardest place to be because you're kind of like, oh,
Yeah.
are you? Both of you are annoying.
Right.
Gen Z, older millennials. I mean, I understand the millennial backlash. We're awful. When I heard like Gen Z making fun of millennials, I was like, finally felt seen for once because I was like, oh, so it's my generation that I hate. Like, I just don't like any of these people. I've been around for so long. Because, yeah, But it's okay to be millennial, whatever. It's
fine. I mean, it's just a moniker, you know?
Right.
You're only as much of a millennial as you let the world tell you are, you know?
This is true. What do you think is your most millennial trait, if you have one?
Oh. That's a good question.
And then what do you think is your most like, oh, I'm actually kind of cool and young and Gen Z-ish in this way?
Well, I've recently picked up TikTok, which I can't tell if that's a Gen Z thing anymore or if it is more of a millennial thing. Like,
we kind of, people, they took it over a little bit.
It's kind of monopolized. So,
yeah.
I mean, and not just picked up. Like, I've been on there for a while, but I'm more of a...
You're an observer.
More of a browser. I'm an observer, but I'm trying to use it now to, like, you know, make some more short-form content.
Right.
I'm trying to explore, you know, what I'm doing.
Right.
So I guess that's a pretty Gen Z quality.
Yeah, totally.
Or is that millennial? Can that cover both?
I think that covers both. That might be both of them. Yeah. The TikTok it does seem like I can't tell if it's going through waves. People keep saying it's going to be over, and I'm like, you guys, this thing is going to be around. Facebook's not over. Like, people go, so I took this social media break, and I'm still on it, but I will promote this piece of art that we're making. But I went on Facebook right before I was like, I'm getting rid of all these things, I'm leaving, and I put a new profile picture up, and it was a picture of me with a filter of tattoos on my face.
Oh,
like
yes,
face
yes.
tattoos on my face, and I thought it was pretty funny, and
it's hilarious. You look great.
Thank you. And people lost their minds. People thought I had actually done that. I mean, it says a lot about how far we've come technologically that people really believe that I did that. One of my grandparents thought about taking me out of their inheritance.
Oh,
they thought that I went off the deep end. They were like, I want to give Bradley's inheritance to his brother so he can, because I think he's maybe gone off the deep end and I want someone to manage those.
Let me tell you, the drama of white families. Like, do you know what is never going to happen to me? My grandma is, what inheritance? I ain't inherited nothing.
Well, that's
but
how
bullshit.
I felt too. I was like, what inheritance? What are you talking about? Like, what? It got me a little excited.
That was an actual conversation. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's absurd. And my other grandma on my other side she just messaged me on Facebook and was like, seriously? That's all she said. Seriously?
Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, they just care a lot, Brad.
They do care a lot, and it was a beautiful thing. And
they just want to make sure that you don't have face tattoos.
Yeah, and I'm like, that's hilarious. That's the limit. Like, you're fine with me being gay, but face tattoos, which I understand.
Well, they thought they escaped the face tattoos because you were gay.
Yeah, exactly. That I'd have.
Like,
well, he's never getting face tattoos because that's not something gay people do, as far as I know. I've never seen a gay man with face tattoos.
There has
to be, yes.
There's no way there's not, at least, right.
And they like have OnlyFans, and they're probably really cool. And I have no problem with face tattoos if you can pull it off. It's not the look.
It just seems so painful.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'll tell you this: I've been really loving. I think the lower front thigh tattoo that's been happening.
Oh, is that your thing right now? You like that?
I like that. I feel a little gross that I like it, but I also like it. And guys are wearing these short shorts, and so half of the tattoo shows.
Yeah.
I like that.
Okay.
How do you feel about that?
I think I just think that tattoos are cool wherever they exist.
Okay.
I do like a good, strong calf tattoo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because that means you have to keep up your calves.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can't let your calves go.
That's how I feel about sleeve tattoos, because I think a sleeve, there's something about a sleeve that really, like, twirls my ticket.
I just think that anyone that can sit and get stabbed repeatedly
Yes.
to be injected with ink that will live on you forever, like, I celebrate you wherever you got that done.
Celebrate you.
Because I don't think I can do it. No. I don't think I can do it.
Yeah, I don't think I'm ever going to.
And I don't want anything. Like, if I ever wanted something, I might do it. But there's nothing that it's like...
I mean, I'm never getting a tattoo because I know I won't get my inheritance. Whatever that is. Maybe a lawnmower. His old lawnmower. He's got a good old lawnmower, my grandpa.
It might be a house. Like, you could get a whole house.
In Nebraska. In Bennington.
Yeah, like that happens. Oh, Bennington.
Yeah.
I lived over there for a little bit.
You did?
Wait. No, that's not. I'm sorry. I'm thinking about something. Wait, Bennington is that where that Walmart is? No, that's Irvington. Never mind.
Bennington is like out there. Like
it's
in
like
the
a whole
fields.
other place.
It's like
I don't do the fields anymore. That's not the fields are not for me.
Good. That's
Oh man.
That was a good one. Good for you.
Well, Brad, do you have parting words for the people?
Thank you. Thank you for listening. That's all I have for now. I feel great about this. This felt good. I feel like we touched some territory. We've felt it out. Like what do we talk about?
We planted some seeds. We're talking about a lot of things. We got some topics in. They got to know us a little bit.
Do you have any parting words?
I'm just gonna say all the boring stuff. I'm gonna say, if you like what you heard, and I know you did, subscribe on YouTube. Subscribe on SoundCloud.
SoundCloud's where it's at.
Share with your friends.
And listen, the good thing about SoundCloud, because we're not on Spotify, you can listen to us on SoundCloud and you can lock your phone. This is the thing. You can't lock your phone and listen to us on YouTube, but you can lock your phone and listen on SoundCloud. So
absolutely,
if that's something.
But also, if you're working
right.
and you're like, oh, I can go on YouTube now and put this thing on and listen in the background. Like, I'm sure that our soothing voices are exactly what you need.
Totally.
To get through your midday slump.
We're just midday slump. This is a midday slump kind of podcast. That's truly the.
That's our tagline now.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yes. Okay. Yes, like and subscribe, please.
Yeah. Oh, and so this is quarterly, right? We should explain a little bit of how it's going to work. We'll show up every once in a while. So in between then, if you're so inclined and you're like, wow, here are some things that I would love Brad and Nick to maybe talk about.
Yeah.
You can literally email us.
Yeah, hit us up.
straighttalkwithgaymen@gmail.com.
Oh my God. This is good. Yeah, that's good.
This is good. So yes, drop us a line, folks. Let us know what you want us to possibly talk about.
Or message me or him on
Instagram. Hit us on Instagram.
Hit us up. Like if a cultural thing happens and you want to hear us, what we have to say about it.
And we might even talk to you IRL.
Right.
We're not that famous yet, so
right.
we're still among you all.
We are. We're not at the Met Gala. Yeah. We're not there. Someday. If it continues. I feel like they might cancel it. This is
forever? You think it's going to be over forever?
Yeah. Because someone's typing. I have seen the Instagram infographic that literally said, abolish the Met Gala. So it's coming. It's coming.
Or maybe next year it'll just all be like militant, against the Met Gala,
right.
But at the Met Gala,
look like a North Korea missile march. That's what it'll look like.
Oh man,
that's what we should end on. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we're ending on.
Thank you all.
Okay, we're stopping recording now.
Okay, there we go. How'd that feel?